One of the questions we're looking at is, how big is the Earth compared to the moon? Now, if somebody in your house, maybe a first grader, a little brother and sister, or a cousin, or maybe even grandma and grandpa, asked you that question, and you're thinking, I don't know, how would I explain this to them? Here's a great way. If we were to take the Earth and shrink it down to the size of a basketball. This is something that we have in our house. This is something you could grab and say, oh, let me explain this to you. If this was the size of the Earth to scale, I wonder how big the moon would be in comparison. Let's take a look.
All right, so if this was the size of Earth, remember what we talked about. 4 moons can fit across Earth, okay? So what we have to find is what object can we fit 4 of across this basketball, okay? Because remember, we scaled the Earth down to this size. And what I have here is a tennis ball, okay? If we look at this, we can fit about 4 tennis balls across this basketball, just like that. And remember, we talked about 4 moons fitting across Earth. So if we shrunk Earth down to the size of a basketball, we could use a tennis ball to represent the scale size of the moon.
Okay, so our learning target is I can create a scale model of the moon compared to the Earth. So what if, Mr. Wagner, I gave you a basketball?
All right, so what if this was the size of Earth? Again, 4 tennis balls will fit across this basketball if we scale this down to Earth. Well, Mr. Jensen, what if I gave you this dodgeball?
Oh, thank you, Mr. Wagner. Oh, you know what? Actually, a tennis ball would be too big.
Don't you mean a ping pong ball, Mr.
A
Jensen?
tennis ball would be too big. So a ping pong ball would be just the right size compared to a dodgeball. That would be a good scale model. But what if Mr. Jensen ordered Amazon ping pong balls, didn't look at the dimensions, and the ping pong balls he ordered came in this size? Oh, Mr. Jensen, details, descriptions.
So if this was the size of the moon, what would fit this? How about a shrunken down globe?
From the dollar store.
From the dollar store.
That's a good point.
4 of these little tiny ping pong balls
That's true.
fit across our Earth,
Huh.
just like that. Okay?
Or, next time you're in a highly sophisticated place with a globe, and somebody wants you to say, how big is the moon compared to that normal sized globe? One of the things you could show them is a foam ball from Hobby Lobby. That's
I love
a
Hobby
great
Lobby.
example. You can fit 4 of those across. It's 1/4 the size. And interestingly enough, look at the United States. It's almost the size the United States could cover the moon.